the primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already had proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI 6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining me on AI 6. First of all, introduce yourself to our viewers and to our listeners. You're there in Boston, right?
In Boston, yeah. Thanks for having me. Kevin Roy, GreenBanana SEO. We've been full stack digital ad agency since 2009. I am the resident AEO, SEO, AI ranking, whatever they're going to call it, geek. And I've been studying that since 2009 and was super passionate about it and excited to talk about it.
Hey, things have changed dramatically since 2009, haven't they?
They sure have.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that we're reinventing our own skill set ourselves and our agencies. But, you know, you've watched how the waves of change have lapped at your ankles and in the business, and obviously you've pivoted and responded. Are you excited about this change that AI is bringing, or is it just something that we shouldn't get too excited about when it comes to SEO?
Oh, honestly, I'm super excited about it. I think if people are listening in their SEO agencies, this is our golden age because people are clamoring and trying to figure out how to get cited and how to rank in AI. So I'm very excited about it. I don't know where it's heading. One of my favorite AI quotes is that AI is the dumbest today than it's ever going to be, which is a little frightening.
It absolutely is. And, you know, humans are dumb, but we're also smart. But the dumb humans will sit on their hands and do nothing. What are you saying to your clients right now?
So this is actually brought on by our clients. So a lot of our clients came to us. A year and a half ago, they were starting to come to us, and that's the precipitation of what we've done now. What I'm telling clients that aren't doing it at all, I'm telling them to just start doing basic things. And if you haven't used AI for your business and you haven't used it personally, do it to look up a recipe, do something fun with it, take a picture of your house and ask for an addition, because I want them to get acclimated and see the amazing things that AI can do and get their brains to start working on seeing how they can adapt that to their business.
Yeah. And is there much new work that is being generated because of like Google's AI overviews and then the citation economy? Is your whole business model being reimagined?
So, we are a full stack agency when it comes to like paid media, and we run a lot of Google ads now. Now AI overviews have Google ads, so we're adopting into that. All of our SEO campaigns, so we have a lot of legacy SEO campaigns, they're all being transitioned in what things that we can do to get them to get cited in AI now.
Yeah. And are you seeing the results? Like, we know that Google never releases its SEO secrets, but are you seeing results in the large language models? How are you comparing it to getting ranked on page one of Google?
So we're seeing the results. There's a couple ways to look at it. And I think I could sort of back up and saying we have clients in almost every type of industry. So we have doctors, lawyers, fintech, biotech, advertising agency, consumer products, government, education. And I'm not seeing massive drops in organic search. I'm seeing drops in organic search. We are seeing people that are getting cited in AI have an increase in business or the same amount of business that they're getting if we're pushing organic into AI. What the biggest challenge that we have as an agency right now is actually measuring it effectively. So we have tried SEMrush, we've tried Ahrefs, but half a dozen other tools that I'm not mentioning that are all giving us different results.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that it's happening. Measuring exactly, I think it's still open-ended, and we tell our clients, like, we're using this tool today, we may not be using it tomorrow.
And of course, because they're trying to reimagine the value that their tool is bringing, and we're all kind of at the beginning of this AI journey in the digital marketing world. But I wonder, because I had a government group over from the Middle East in London recently, and we had this conversation, and it was a full week on SEO. And, I posed the question, is it time to rethink the measurements that we previously placed a value on when it came to search results? What are you thinking about what you're measuring? What are the right metrics right now?
I definitely think it's time to start thinking about how we can measure in all of these large language models. But at the end, it really comes down to, for most clients, leads and sales. So are you getting more leads and are you getting more sales? That's the ultimate goal. Measuring to see how it's getting there is very important so you can amplify that. But yes, we need to start looking at it differently. Like, how often are you being cited? Are those citations turning into business? How are people, what searches are people making and how are they getting to your site?
And we're in the era of zero click searches too, where we get the information, but we don't need to come back to the site. Or have you any innovative ways at how you're trying to circumvent that for clients?
So that's a great question. For most clients for us, that unless you're selling a very simple product or a simple solution, we're seeing that even if you're getting cited in the zero click search, people are still Googling the company or going direct to the company because they need more information than you just get in that one snippet line. So we're still seeing people that are finding you in AI and then saying, I need more information, so I'm going to go to the site. So getting just mentioned in AI is the first step. So people will go to your site.
And of course, information and knowledge now is completely free. It's ubiquitous. How are your brands and companies standing out from the crowd in an AI world? Are you asking them to change the content that they're producing for their websites?
We're having them change three things. So if to back up a little bit, there all the rankings that we have at our company at GreenBanana, there is not we're not getting cited on anything that we haven't previously ranked organically.
Mm.
That's the first step. That's the baseline. The three things that we're implementing for our clients is, number one, there's something called a 3-block blueprint, where the top of the page, you're giving a very clean answer of what the page is about. So AI can read it. Number two is the proof, like a little checkbox, like how you can prove what you're talking about, whether you're doing checklists or examples. And then the third block is the what's next block. So click here to find out more, an FAQ, buy the product. So we find when we structure the page in those three blocks, AI is pulling that information faster. The second piece is schema. So you want to make sure you have pretty advanced schema that matches everything on your page, including your FAQ. Like, you want the schema FAQ to match your FAQ on your page. And then the final piece, I think, is the most important piece. And that's the proof or the citation piece. So one of the things that AI, I think, is really freaking out about right now is that anybody can write anything about anything. So I like to tell my clients, like, if I wanted, I could create an amazingly compelling new brain surgery technique that I've come up with, and everyone should try it. I could do, references from Johns Hopkins, really detailed diagrams on how to use my brain surgery technique. And hopefully I will never get cited for that because, I've never been to medical school. I've never been published in a medical journal. I've never done a brain surgery before. So that's what the AI is looking for. Like, how does this person have the right to be published for this? What other things has this person talked about? Let's go back and find their resume. Who authored this page, and does this author have credibility? So drawing that straight line for AI, I think, is the most important piece.
So essentially what you're saying is, if you've been doing what we'll call now traditional SEO very well, you're ahead of the game. Technical
Mhm.
SEO is still as important, but now that third pillar is about authority. Are you
Yeah,
who you say you are? And are you commanding maximum share of social voice across all platforms for you, for your sector?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And when I think about, people, how our behaviors are changing, and I think it was Mark Zuckerberg, and he says a lot of wild things, but I think
Mhm.
recently he said that, websites will be gone in 5 years because we'll all have personal agents and conversational agents doing all of this for us. What's your own view on that?
I think that's a little extreme, but I wouldn't be surprised if we all had our personal agents that would find things, but where are they finding things from? They need a base. And so if a company has a personal agent that's accessible online, that would basically be replacing the website and the content would be in there. But what the AI agents, where are they getting their information from? They're getting the information from the internet. They're not
Yeah.
going walking over. So they have to get the data somewhere.
Unless Mark is building something that we don't know that he wants to displace websites, you never
Yes.
know. But
Yeah.
one study I saw recently that I thought was very interesting, and this ties into your authority piece on AEO, is that LinkedIn is now producing, it's the number one ranker of professionally related content. That's probably no surprise, is it?
No, because think about what your LinkedIn profile is your online resume. So I use LinkedIn. If you go and look at my LinkedIn profile, there is a link to my author bio. My author bio goes to a page that has all the, if I'm in a podcast or if I've written something, it goes on there. When an article is written by me on my site, that's linked to my author page, that's linked to my LinkedIn page. So I do that for a reason because I'm drawing a straight line for AI to say that Kevin Roy has the right to be cited for this subject matter.
And similarly, YouTube has been a channel that, not many of us have been able to master in terms of
Hmm.
virality or getting those, 10, 100,000, 1 million subs. But its
Hmm.
value now, I would say, is also equally important given that,
100%.
Google has Gemini. Is video
Mhm.
important for AEO, GEO?
I think it is. I mean, we have a YouTube channel that we post a lot of AEO and GEO content on. It is not, I don't ever expect it to go viral. And I don't think I don't see it as a big driver of business for us, but it is a huge credibility piece. And it's another medium that we're being cited on that is linking back. And it's a high authority medium. So I think it's very important.
Do you work with clients who are operating in different markets? Obviously, I'm in Europe, right? And if I'm working with any institutions out of any of the EU, European Commission, European Parliament, they have to deal in 27 languages. What about that kind of bilingual approach? How can you master that?
Well, that's a great question. So we have a very small handful of clients, and it's primarily Hispanic, and we're still doing it the old-fashioned way. Real people that really speak the language that really help us translate it, and part of it is because the people that are publishing the pages don't have a full command of the other language, so we don't know if we're posting the wrong stuff because we can't read it.
Yeah, and it's true because context is everything in the AI age,
Right,
right? You
right,
know, AI is just predicting the next probable word, but you change the context, and then that next word
right.
is going to change. So,
Super.
have
I-
you have you introduced anything new into your own business offering that is AI first, or it has been designed because we have access to this amazing technology right now?
So as an organization, internally, we are using AI and we are aggressively trying to get, I am aggressively trying to get the company to adopt AI. So every Friday we have a meeting together and someone in the company has to present something that they learned or they tried in AI. And I honestly don't care if it's, my husband and I are going on vacation and this is what we're doing. I don't care if someone in my client, if, the team presents that because I want them to start using it and seeing how it can benefit. So every time I'm finding something that I use, I present it to the team and say, hey, check this out. This is what I did. And they're like, oh, I never thought of that. I think that's the piece. It's the creativity piece that I think is the most important, because AI can do almost everything. It's just, you just have to think of how to ask it and how to get it to output.
Yeah, I had ChatGPT putting wallpaper on my living room wall last night, and
Yeah.
yes, and now I think I'm going to purchase that wallpaper because it looked pretty good. But
Serious.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really about imagining the capacity and the capability of the technology, because most people are using the large language models as search engines. So you're right
Right.
to push push their imagination on it. How is the ads market going to change? You know, we've had Meta invest in Manus AI and
Yeah.
again, Mark saying, hey, you know, all your ads will be completely automated. You know, how is that going to change? And will we trust the agents of these big tech companies who are taking our dollars to spend our dollars, or do we trust you and I who have the interests of the client first?
That's a great question. So we run Meta and we run Google Ads. They both have AI components. That's not going away, because where there's eyes, there is revenue. And Google makes most of their money still off of Google Ads. So they've already pulled AI into, Google Ads into AI overviews. That's just going to compound and get bigger and bigger and bigger. ChatGPT is now doing advertising,
Mm.
a beta advertising program. I think it's really important to have humans do it. So Google Ads has more levers to pull, and the campaigns that we run in Google Ads can oftentimes be more effective than Meta campaigns. And I know the audiences are completely different, but uh, we're seeing where AI is doing things that we don't like, and it's making conversion impacts. And so my team will go in and shift that, because our job is to make as much money for the clients as possible. Meta, there's not as many levers to pull, so that the jury is still out. Sometimes those campaigns work well, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. And are you optimistic as somebody who's in the agency world for business over the next 5 years towards the end of the decade?
I'm very optimistic and also very scared.
Yeah.
Really, I think it's really, really important to stay on top of it. And this could just be a really big land grab right now, and things could change. But if I were listening to this, I wouldn't ignore it.
No, I totally agree. I believe that there is so much more capability that's under that iceberg that we do
Mhm.
not see, that the tech companies absolutely do see. And as they release more intuitive and intelligent models, and as we get more excited by how intelligent they are, that's just increasing our attention and our use
Right.
and trading off
There
the
is.
model. But I definitely saw the writing on the wall for my own business, you know, here in Ireland 3 years ago when
Mm.
I saw Sam Altman stand on the stage. I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
people could just have agents to run it. But I think that the knowledge base of AI is still pretty low in terms of
Mhm.
people understanding the capability. So would you say much of your work now is also education and not just consulting?
It's education internally and externally. Yes. And uh, it's the knowledge gap, just like you said, is pretty massive. There's people that still aren't even thinking about using it, and then there's people that are just using it for search, and then there are people that are writing programs with it.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. I know what I'm doing. I'm building my second brain in case this one stops working so that I can still make some money, because that's how scared I am of it.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, just the capability is wild. I think I spend about, you know, half a day a week in my business just like R&D, research and development,
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
how I could reimagine my business if I was starting it today. But you're right. We need to move with this. Being a little bit laid back and maybe it's just a bubble that's going to burst is probably not going to happen. Maybe on the markets for sure. But what are your top three tips for somebody listening to this who wants to maintain presence and authority and keep the leads and the sales coming in their business? What do you ask them to do for themselves?
So I would say the most important thing that they should be doing is establishing themselves as an authority and connecting that in a logical way so that the engines can understand that the content that you are publishing or that are published is verified, that you have the quote unquote right to be cited for that. Sorry, that's my dog is dreaming, so that's her.
That's okay. Oh, she's probably dreaming of AI.
Dreaming about it, I think. So yeah, so out of all of it, that is the most important thing. You need a solid foundation for SEO that is rooted in relevance. Stop buying junk links that don't work anymore, and establish yourself as an authority and take ownership as the author of the content that you are writing.
Yeah, Kevin, we could talk about this all day, right? Because there's just so much to get through. But I think you've provided lots of great insights, lots of tips and value to the listeners. So really appreciate your time. Where can people go find you and your work?
So they can go to greenbananaseo.com, or you can Google, I just met Kevin, and somebody in Reddit's outranking me, which is mind blowing, but it's like page 1 in the second position. If you Google, I just met Kevin. I used to forget my business card all the time, so I just optimized that.
Love it. Somebody asked me for my business card last week. And I was like, I don't have a business card. Just Google me, but I prefer this one. Thank you so much, my friend. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.